This is episode 2 of The Kitchen Shift. My name's Eimear. I'm an Irish trained chef living in Canada for the past 10 years with my Canadian Dominican family and our beagle Joey. I'll be sharing a mix of my own recipes and ones from cookbooks and online that I've fallen in love with over my career. Go on, pop the kettle on, get an apron on, we're making my white bread. First, you're going to add in 500 grams of flour, 1 teaspoon of dry active yeast, 1 teaspoon of sugar. Give that a little mix with your hands. And then in goes our 400 mils of our tepid water. Now, we're not going to knead the dough here. We're just bringing the flour and the water together to hydrate the flour. And then we're going to let that sit for 15 minutes. Come back, add then our 2 teaspoons of salt. Now we're going to start bringing that together in the bowl and then moving it onto the worktop. Mine was a little bit sticky, so I was always taught don't flour the worktop, flour your hands. So that's what I did. Now knead this for around 2 minutes, kind of a fold and push, fold and push. Form that into a circle then, which will kind of naturally happen after you knead it. That's going back into the bowl to proof for an hour, just depending on the temperature in your home. Now, out it goes onto the counter, and you'll notice I'm actually doing this at night time. The sun is clearly starting to set here, and it's actually going to go into the fridge overnight to be baked fresh in the morning. So I'm just going to flatten it a bit and give it a roll, turning it around and doing the exact same thing the other way. This is really meant to be a no stress bread, so please don't worry about your shape, and mine is far from perfect on the bottom. I'm just going to pinch in either end of this, pop it into a naked loaf pan, using another pan as a lid, and then into the fridge overnight. Here's me opening the fridge at the crack of dawn, and I'm only an hour and a half away from eating fresh bread. Now I'm going to leave it on the counter for around another hour to proof and come to room temp, and it should look something like this. Into the oven then for 15 minutes at 425 Fahrenheit, 220 Celsius. Then I'm going to reduce the temp by 20 degrees, remove the lid, and then pop it back into the oven for 20. This recipe never fails me. Now, carefully turn it over, and you want to just give it a little tap to make sure it sounds hollow. If you want this bread the same day, instead of the dough going into the fridge overnight, just leave it on the counter to proof and double in size, and then follow the same process for the oven. Slather in salted butter to finish. Go on, pop the kettle on and get cooking. Slán!